is it's got to be scary, man. Like, the next map, you're going into Oregon, you're going into the enemy team's pick, it's going to be their home field. They're going to be ready for you and not the other way around. This could be quite concise for the side of FiBE. Quite easy, one might say, with an E and a Z. The talking on the cast now, as we are waiting for the second map, isn't going to be as concise, as solo casting a best of 5 is going to be a bit hard on my voice, but we're gonna push through it. We're gonna do well, and we're gonna be happy no matter what the outcome. Respect to both of these teams. Both of these teams doing extremely well and really putting in the real graft that we want to see from teams that have made it this far in the tournament. An EU league, indeed it is. On the opposite side of the field, going to be talking about Metasport a little bit here, what they could probably do to really shift the tides. The main thing that really got focused down from them was their roam game. Their roam game was maybe a little scrappy. They were able to get an opening pick on a couple rounds, but they weren't able to translate it into a round because their roamers would just opt to stay away. And opting to stay away, it can work, but you really need to be baiting that attention. As a whole, it didn't really seem like they were putting enough presence towards the enemy players. Sorry, very loud car went past. Putting that presence onto the enemy players to try and really make them need to look for you. And when they did, they took a couple unfavorable engagements rather than really trying to rotate away or shooting a couple drones and then running away in order to try and waste that extra 30 seconds of them checking every room and every corner just to make sure you're not there. And yeah, instead of that, getting caught out in a couple of those rounds, which is unfortunate. It happens, and we have to move on. We have to forgive and forget, because if we move into the next round with that on our conscience, or the next map with that on our conscience, we're not going to perform. Metasport will be in a bit of a rut if they allow it to stay on their mind. Going into the second map of Oregon. Like I said just before, it is going to be looking like Firebirds are starting on attack this time, and we'll see where they decide to take it. Operator Barnes, once again, we'll probably see a Thatcher. The Thatcher, very ideal for being able to open up the blue wall on the basement, and also being able to open the games and attic walls. Thatcher goes down first. Metasport taking that ban, and for the second ban, I imagine will be Hibana, a Maverick, maybe even a target ban, as you could really go for a lot of things here to really shake things up. The ban onto the Jackal coming out, trying to deal with that flank watch. A lot of teams opting to bring the Gridlock or the Nomad instead when they do go for an attacker lineup that relies a lot on the on the flank watch. But with the mirror being taken out as well, trying to make sure that there isn't these dodgy mirror setups on the top floor, for the top floor site and the middle floor sites, alongside the blue mirror setup. Opting to take out the Valkyrie once, this time around, sorry, as she was a bit of a nuisance in the last game. Having all that information on the defensive side isn't very nice for the attacking side to deal with, as you do really have to put a bit more sort of work and utility into trying to deal with the information that they have on you. But speaking of utility and utility denial, the defensive side not really bringing any sort of intel, offering gadgets.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Other than really the Melusi. The Melusi going to be a good one for being able to make a bit of noise, going to be making the... Obviously, the slowdown is going to be very good as well, but overall, there's not really a lot going on the intel side. They managed to get a bulletproof cam from the Melusi, which is probably the closest you'll get to it. Playing on the basement site first on Oregon is going to be Metasport. Metasport going to be seeing if they can really try and pull something back here. Starting on Oregon on the opposing team's map pick is going to be ideal for you. But bringing the Blitz and the Ying, it's looking like we could be getting set up for a rush here. As we do have the Jaeger and the Smoke aggressive in blue, going to be putting the ADSs down, the final ones, and the Gon 6 in hand. The Blitz already going in, trying to get aggressive onto the Smoke, but the Jaeger manages to find one in return. The Smoke manages to find the Blitz, and now Ying and Blitz both going down very early. You're going to be left with a Finka, Yana, and a Hibana to take this engagement. Finka going to be rotating over to the tower side, because you need to try and get... This is another map that relies a lot on split pushes on the basement site. And you need to try and get that presence on the back stairs if that rush fails. As I say it, Finka going to be coming down, trying to take an engagement with the guy on pillar, but not really able to find the frag. As now Yana going to be dealing with the shield for the Smoke in blue. The Mute going to be finding the frag onto the Finka on the stairs. And now we have Hibana and Yana left in this 2v5 situation. Two players on the defensive side fairly weak, so that potentially could be pretty good for them, as the defending side does reinforce off the elbow. As now Yana going to be opting to get a bit aggressive on this tower side and see if she can really take an engagement, but Hibana getting peppered and chipped here and there isn't going to be great for them. Hibana now very low on HP. One more bullet from that 416 could really be the death of her right now. She does end up backing up, which is going to be very good for her. And Yana, so close, but ends up going down as well. Hibana, last man standing in the 1v5 on very low HP. Going to be getting a little bit aggressive, dealing a lot of damage to the 1-mai. That's a good start, but you've only got 40 seconds remaining to do it. Does manage to find the frag onto the Melusi, but the 1-mai is still alive, even though very low HP. Not going to be very nice to have an extra gun pointed at you. Does shoot out the 1-mai gadget to make sure that her flashbangs aren't going to be denied or taken aback. The guy's still behind pillar, not looking at it. He's not looking at the 1-mai. The 1-mai swings out, and that is going to be the frag for Pew, putting the first round on the board for Metasport. Moving into round number 2, the defending side going to be taking us to kids' bedrooms and dorm's main hall. Bringing the Frost, probably going to have a Frost mat on the default clan to see if they can catch anyone out in that given situation. Also a frost mat on the drop in Attic, which is one you see quite often, especially so in ranked. As you know, the ranked players do tend to fall for that kind of thing because
Attackers need to locate
aggressive
and defuse
monkey.
as many bombs as they can.
But moving into the round, we have the Melusi, we have the Mute, opting for a lot of this utility and info sort of denial here as they really want to be able to secure off this armory corridor. They want to be able to secure off the bedroom. They are getting the mute jammers down in armory to make sure that the armory stairs is going to be a bit harder to push up, and you're going to have a lack of information. More than likely, a player going to be playing in that room, and they are going to be opening a rotate into the closet. Potentially a shotgun going to be perching in there, but as he's still making head holes, it's getting a bit more questionable as to whether he is actually going to be there on time. He opens up a little bit more, but maybe not even playing in there. Maybe just taking some engagements through the holes, having a bit of an angle through onto the balcony, and being able to have that option to be aggressive if need be. There's the frost mat on the default plan, as she does get that place down, and I've seen it catch a few people out in the past. I've seen very rare occasions that frost is brought on this site in leagues, but it has caught people out when it has been brought. The attacking side going to be opting for a bit more of a tower take, as we do see the buck over that side. The thermite going to be on the... Actually, not sure where the thermite was. They didn't have a thermite. They don't have any hard reach. I don't know why I thought there was a thermite. Instead, the one I thought was thermite for some reason is the sledge on the kid's window. Yana going to be dealing a little bit of damage to Melusi, but Melusi ending up falling to the thinker on the main bedroom window. And now with the player underneath of the buck going to be opening the holes around you, it's going to be a lot of pressure for the defenders. They're going to have to look at these windows, they're going to have to look at these doors, and Shorty finding a frag for the nade below, they're going to have to be looking at these floor holes too. Frost going to be taking a little bit of an engagement onto Buck taking a lot of damage. Slither of HP at this point. And Jaeger managing to find the return onto Maverick. But with Yana on top white and the rest of the team in position to watch a lot of these angles, Metisport are going to have to play this very safe, play their angles, make sure that they're able to try and deny a carrier from being able to get this plant off. The drone coming in through the main bedroom window, just to see if they can spot out any of these players that are playing a little bit too aggressive, playing a little bit too far forward, to try and make sure that they can find themselves an opening. But the mute finding the buck is going to be very good for his team, as the plant now going down in kids or in the main bedroom. They do manage to get the frag onto the sledge. The sledge going down is going to be very good for that team, as now instead we see the thinker on the plant. Jaeger going to be walking through, but does fall to the Yana, who has been top white for the last millennia, and that is a round going the side of Firebird. Equalized for both teams. Could be seeing a bit of a change in strategy, as we do see the Clash and the Echo being brought on the side of Metisport. MZP going to the meeting kitchen site, going to be looking like they want to try and maybe play this quite aggressively, as the Clash is a very intel sort of heavy operator. You're going to be playing quite aggressive. You're going to be playing in the team's face. You're going to be spotting out these players, giving pings to your team, and your team is going to be swinging on it. And maybe even holding angles. You're going to be trying to bait the enemy players into pushing you, punching your shield, and really creating openings for your team, in the sense that the attackers will cover.
Deploying shield.
We do have this Echo posturing himself up in attic, throwing both of his drones down into the hatch to make sure that they're both down on site,
10 seconds left before insertion.
and just reinforcing it off so it's a bit harder for him to be pushed from
5
that
seconds to
side
go.
particularly, and does end up dropping down.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Oh no, he only threw one down the hatch, and another one is on top of the cupboard and kitchen. Now with the attacking side getting a little bit antsy and wanting to try and really take a couple rounds here in order to be favourable on their defensive half. They are going to be moving into attic, and they're probably going to be trying to push onto this guy that the Echo has set up for, but with the thermite going down, unable to get the wall because of the mute jammer that was recently placed. The wall now being opened up, as Thermite is going to be trying to get aggressive onto this mute, going to be seeing if he can try and find an engagement, and maybe even find a frag. Mute does get flashed and makes her rotate in order for him to escape, if need be, but as the attacking side doesn't choose to really get too aggressive down that corridor, it's going to be very good for him, as he now has a potential rotate through, he has a potential flank, and bringing the Osa on this site, it's going to be very good for the attacking side. They know they've got to get these shields down on the stage, and they know that they've got to... They're probably going to get the shield down, if not already, in the attic area, so someone can play to try and deal with that mute that's going to be trying to go for that flank, or maybe even get aggressive onto the holes or onto the roof above the stage to try and really put some pressure onto the attackers. But with a frag coming in from the Melusi now taking a lot of damage in the basement, opting to move away as
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
she has already found the pick onto Finka, which is 2 nades out of the window. But the utility in favor of the defenders, but losing 2 lives. Losing a third now as it's just the Clash and the Echo, but the Echo falls as well. The Clash left in a 1v4. Going to be seeing if she can take an engagement onto this player, but does end up falling in the end to the Thermite. Very well played for Firebird. They're managing to find their second round of this half to end up a round ahead now. 2-1 to the side of Firebird, moving in to round number 4. Potentially in line to be able to see such a dominant split once again, and maybe even see Firebird take it. But I might be looking a little bit too far into it here, as we could see Metisport clap back with a nice little basement laundry supply hold, and really prove what they're made of.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
The attacking side going to be opting to bring the Thermite instead of the Flores, which is going to be a questionable decision, as there are going to be ADSs in the blue area. And with the ADSs in the blue area, it's going to be a little bit harder for the Finka and the Yana to be able to get those nades in. You are going to be bringing the Twitch drone, however, which is going to be able to deal with at least one of those that's going to be placed quite forward in blue. But overall,
10 seconds remaining.
the Flores probably being one of the most oppressive operators in the meta for comp, out of the question.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Now the Yana being switched off for the Maverick, going to be probably opting to try and get a bit of pressure onto the hatches now for that player. But also the Twitch being swapped off for the Yana as well. So there's a bit less of that oppression and a bit less of that utility denial for the Jaeger, as the Maverick does choose to get aggressive onto the door and manages to deal a lot of damage and actually find a frag now onto the mute. Yana pushes around and deals with the mute jammer that is on that wall / on that door, so the drone can get through. Finka now moving in through the window, and Yana and Finka are both going to be at the bottom of white stairs. Finka pushing up to make sure that there's no one roaming around the top floor and trying to go for a late rotate. And just making sure that nobody is going to be pushing up those freezer stairs to go for a swing while they deal with the camera. 3 of the defensive side currently still close to, if not on site, maybe all 4. No, it looks like 1 is going to be on the roam, the one might up in top tower. Finka, though, getting very aggressive down these freezer stairs, seeing if she can take some sort of engagement against any of these players here, but Maverick's drone going down is going to mean he now has to move and pull his gun up as well. They spot out the shield in the supply, or in the laundry area, and the smoke going to be taking a lot of damage. Malusi and Smoke both a little bit low on HP, but so is Finka and Maverick. The one positive for the attacking side is they've brought the Finka for the boosts. Once a Finka boost does come out, which it is readily available to them, they are going to have the Yana back at full HP. They're going to have Maverick and Finka going to be boosted back up to around 60%, and they do manage to find another frag from the Havana onto another player, but the Smoke and the Jaeger both going down as well. Going to be perfect for the side of Firebird, and that's a flawless round on the bomb site that Metasport won last time. So being able to so dominantly show that you can take the site that Metasport held on to last time is really going to bode well for how the mental game is going to be for Metasport. As Metasport are going to be a bit more questioning, maybe even playing a bit safer, so your roam clears are going to be faster, you're going to be able to get these openings, and overall, for the side of Metasport, it's probably what they need to do. They do need to turtle up a little bit, they need to get together. They have taken their pause, they are on attack pause right now. But yeah, it's a bit scary for them at the moment with how dominant the last map was, and now going into Firebird's actual pick, going down 3-1 so early. It's going to be a bit scary, no doubt. Unpause coming in as we are 5 seconds from being able to move into the next round.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
The defensive side are opting for the exact same lineup they brought before.
Jammer ready to activate. All is done. Shield deployed.
And really, in theory here, if the side of Firebird do choose to really mix things up and opt to go for something special, then
Proximity alarm deployed.
10 seconds left before insertion.
it could get a bit dicey for the defense.
5 seconds
They
remaining.
haven't been looking so strong. Everybody on their side negative at the moment in KD. And everybody on Firebird at least positive, like neutral at minimum. Going at least 1 for 1, getting their trades, getting their ones, getting their refrags, all of that. Making sure that they're able to prove just how much they're able to give in this battle. We do see the attacking side going to be quite aggressive onto that bottom white window, maybe going to be taking an aggressive engagement sometime soon onto one of the guys in security, as the guy on security door does seem to be a little bit closer. does end up weeding his way away, but the guy on the freezer door ends up falling alongside one more, which will be the mute, who was the guy in security, to Yana and Finka. Yana and Finka being able to find those two opening frags. They've done their job, and now it's just set up for the execute. As the Malusi, you're 2 down and you're opting to get aggressive. They're going to be going for a double swing. This could either pay off massively or go terribly, as they are moving down the corridor towards kitchen. They're going to be trying to catch a player on these hatches, but with the smoke being pressured so hard on the site, it's not going to be looking very good for them, as they do get caught. They lose one onto the player on hatch, alongside the guy on stage paying the attention. But as the Maverick goes down to the Malusi, it's going to be very good for them in this 1v5 clutch. With the smoke going down, and the Malusi following not long after, to the Finka in freezer, that is going to be a round. Another strong round to the side of Firebird. As now we're moving into our final round of the defensive half for Metasport, they are going to be trying to make sure that they can at least secure one more. If they come out with a 4-2 split here, at least they're not fully out of the running. But if they do go down to a 5-1 split with how defender-sided a lot of these maps are, it's highly likely that they're going to lose out.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
At this
as they
point,
can.
you need to desperately fight for a good split, or at least a reasonable enough one that you are able to pull back. Or pull back reliably, should I say.
Deploying ADS. Device activated. Smoke grenade now.
The attacking side opting for a pretty similar lineup that they brought in the previous. And this time only really swapping out the Yana for the sledge.
5 seconds to
Possibly could switch. The Thermite does switch onto the Maverick, so the Maverick swapping onto the Buck. So you're really just swapping out the Thermite and the Yana for the sledge and the Buck. As we move into the round, we do see the attackers are going to be trying to go for this more tower side push, specifically from David, as he is going to be on the sledge, going to be over that side, maybe seeing if he can get some sort of engagement over there. But looks like he's going to soft wall it, or remove the soft wall, should I say, for his Maverick to then be able to open it up completely. They do look like they want to take the right side of the wall, as they are just trying to clear out this utility, make sure that these players aren't able to get majorly aggressive. But the hole's not really going to be feeding a lot of information. Because now we see Maverick creating some holes for him, just to be able to open it up enough. And be able to see as much as possible. But with the Oryx and the Mute roaming around as a duo at the bottom of Armory, we're probably going to be getting into an engagement with this Finka soon. Finka does go down, Oryx able to get one. And now the Mute, still on the Armory stairs, probably going to be seeing if he can take an engagement with the Buck, who does seem to be getting quite aggressive onto the Armory corridor door, or the trophy door into Armory. David does manage to find another one in return, so does Buck. That is 3 down, 4 down for the side of MZP. And they do lose once again on this defensive half. And that is going to be 5-1 once again, moving into the second half of the match in favour of Firebird. As we do move into the first round of the new half, Firebird going to be opting for a semi-similar lineup, this time removing that mute in favor of the Thunderbird that they so often bring in the previous rounds.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused
And
by
the
attackers.
attacking side of Metasport going to be going for, again, a very similar lineup, only really opting to bring the Twitch and Nomad instead of the Finker and the Thermal. The defensive side putting those beepers on the white stairs, making sure that they have a bit of audio cue if someone does decide to push up aggressively in that direction. But
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
the prone holes on the bedroom door, probably going to be trying to catch someone as they jump up onto the truck. But it looks like she's going for the standing ones instead, maybe trying to get some sort of aggressive peek onto someone that's coming in from spawn. Doesn't end up finding anything particular or anything even in the lines of damage, and just opts to
Bomb
fall
located by
off.
attackers.
As now we see the Thunderbird on bottom armory, the Melusi going to be moving into attic, and the Wamai getting aggressive on to the big window. A lot of big frag heavy guns going to be brought on the defensive side for the side of Firebird. Probably just see if they can really take some sort of engagement, and I think that's probably what they're favouring here, these engagements, these gunfights, making sure that they're able to really take something that the side of Metasport isn't going to be really ready for. But as he's just able to see the Maverick a little bit, does pull through the Maverick's hole and manage to get the frag onto him. Another frag coming out from David onto the Nomad of Mamba. And now 3 down for the side of Metasport in favour of a Jaeger for the side of Firebird. Another one going down to the Melusi from the top armory or on the top armory side, I think. And the smoke getting aggressive through the bedroom, going to be managing to find the frag onto the final player. 6-1, match point for the side of Firebird.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Deploying ATS. Deploying about grenades now.
Moving into this match point round, Metasport going to be really needing to pull something out of the bag now, choosing to bring the Monty, making sure they've got the Hibana. The Hibana is going to be trying to opt to get the hatches, and alongside that,
Seconds to insertion.
you've got the Finker and the Yana, which are probably going to be following close behind. One of which going to be going upstairs with the Hibana, no doubt, to make sure that they are able to get these hatches open, and the other one following the Monty, possibly through blue.
Swapping mags!
The C4 spawn peak on blue is going to be the Thunderbird, but the Jaeger proning now, hiding from these drones, possibly going to be able to come out of this with a very nice kill, if not a couple, if he's unchecked, but the Yana manages to find him out. Does spot out the head of the Jaeger in that corner. Does get swung on a little bit, but the Thunderbird doesn't really take any damage, doesn't deal any damage. Even Stevens, both ways. Only difference is, FiBE with the man disadvantage. The Maverick going to be opening up the bar and the stage hatch. And I'm David managing to find the returning frag now onto the Maverick. So that hatch going to be remaining closed by the looks of things as of this point in time. But the Thinker rotating upstairs is going to be trying to get aggressive with the Nomad. Probably going to be seeing if they can try and find a frag onto either of these two players that are playing in this area. Does manage to see a little bit of the smoke by the looks of things, but doesn't end up finding the kill. The Hibana does manage to clean that up in the end, but falls, or the Thinker falls in return to I'm David. David going down once again, back and forth for both of these teams, as the Hibana does manage to find that frag, and now it's a 3v2 in favor of Metasport against FiBE. The players of Metasport going to be still quite tentative to really take these engagements, and the hole's going to remain completely unchecked as that guy prone at the bottom watching the laundry stairs isn't going to be spotted out. He is going to be taking an engagement very early onto the Hibana, doesn't manage to find anything as of this point, but does take another engagement, manage to do even more damage, and that is the Hibana very low on HP. Managed to get a returning frag onto the Yana, and that is the entire team of MZP falling once again to the hand of FiBE. 2 maps, 2-0 in this best of 5 series to FiBE. I said it once, I'll say it again. That's not going to be... Well, I don't envy anyone that's in their comms at the moment, because I sure as hell wouldn't be happy. Map number 3, though, when we do actually get the players ready and choose to move in to that map, is going to be Cafe. Cafe, a map that has changed quite a lot over the years and gone from a very conservative push type map to a very sort of aggressive team fight all over the place map to something that is a bit more in the middle. You've got those aggressive team fights on the top floor when you are playing any of the lower sites, and you have the conservativeness of having the slow, sort of more paced aggression from the defenders, pretty much no matter what side they're on. So